begun in 1891 with 13 artifacts in tow.
20 times we've cast our votes, and so the relics come and go.
Incorporating articles, a picture of the B&T.
A pen that's signed for you and me, our special Beertown recipe.
Ingredients donations.
The daughters of Ninkasi Quake. Stereoscope of the citizens.
Civil War medal and a railroad spike, a ribbon and a collar.
Let's put in young Richard's gun.
Replace it with a letter.
In the year 1901,
The gun, the gun, the gun, 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 gun.
Marcy Walker, if you put this Proposition 6 to a vote, you'll be the worst thing to happen to this town since Stanley Riles. Ah!
Every household thrills to the task at hand as we weep and we lash and we brew. We give thanks for the
Hi, welcome to the Colonial. Would you like a free commemorative t-shirt?
All right, everybody smile.
Hi, Alyssa.
Help yourself.
Welcome back to the
Good to see you.
Now, who here saw that meteorite? Who was at that game? Can we see some hands? So we had some fans. We had some baseball fans there. Peter, did you have something?
I was going to ask, did you ever find out how old the meteorite was?
That's a good
Did you,
question.
and actually, Bob, can you, you had an estimate. I have got an estimate, but you had actually one.
Right, 4.7 billion years, the time of the formation of the solar system. So, a piece of history sitting right there.
Wow.
To us.
Wow. That's a good question. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate your expertise on that.
I think we should go ahead and move on to the railroad spike that was proposed by Mr. Guy. So who would like to begin our discussion about the railroad spike? Yes, sir.
Were there any Chinese
Could you
involved
just
in
introduce
planting the
yourself,
spike in the
please?
ground?
Could you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all.
I'm Gordon. Were there any Chinese involved in planting that spike into the ground?
Yes.
Dave, I don't know that I can speak specifically to how the spike was planted into the ground. Thank you for that question, Gordon. I think it certainly is an important one, and I would never think to offend or not to push or to push under the idea that there was some labor that happened during that time that we may find pretty offensive by our standards today. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to just really bring it back to the idea that I'm putting it forward as a proposal because it represents our ability as a town to come together and that hopefulness. I can't remember who, but I talked to somebody just at the break who said, railroads either make or break in town, and it certainly made our town. And I really think that's why it's important to us.
Thank you.
Interesting. All right. Oh, well, all right.
I am abstaining this afternoon, though I do, can we just hop in for just a second?
Just a second.
The railroad spike, to me, is a particularly fascinating artifact simply because, as many people know, it was a great industrial revolution in Beertown, but it was also a time of great oppression for the Thakowaki community who had founded this great area in this nation. And so when that railroad came through, it really devastated the Thakowaki community. And frankly, when I'm up for re-election in 2017, the fates and the rights of the indigenous people are a big,
Would you want to keep this discussion about the spike?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was oppressive, and frankly, if I were to vote, I don't think I could vote it in. I simply couldn't.
Thank you so much.
Not for what they did.
All right, thank you, Representative. We appreciate your viewpoints.
For clarity.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I'm Larry. I have a great fascination for railroads. My dad was a railroader. I have operated railroad engines. Railroads, as one gentleman indicated, make or break towns and communities. It made Beertown years ago. Without a railroad, many towns wouldn't even be in existence today. It is unfortunate that it's no longer here, but we as a country revere the railroad spike at Promontory Point in Utah, where the two trains, transcontinental trains, came together. Now, granted, there was oppressed labor involved in that. There was at the time. That's part of what we do back then. But we don't do it today. But does that mean we still can't honor a spike that helped make Beertown what it is and what it was at
Thank
that
you.
time?
Thank you, Larry. We're gonna go here and then here. Yes, ma'am.
Cece, I have some questions about the gold.
Sure.
It seems very ostentatious to me. Is that the message that we want? And do we know that the gold was mined in a way that was ecologically sound?
MJ is already, she goes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Thanks, Kristen. That means a lot to me. I'm a big man, everyone. I think that despite the issue of pollution, and I think that despite the fact that we can see the river every day, it is still such an integral part of who we are. Just because the river is polluted doesn't mean that we love it any less, and just because it's polluted doesn't mean that we ourselves are bad people, you know, and that we dislike ourselves for having polluted it. Like, we all still consider Beertown a great place, even though we have our flaws. But I think that the river and the river water is a great representation of Beertown, past, present, and future. It's something that we need to honor since it's such an important part of our founding.
Thank you so much, Victor.
My name's Todd. I just wanted to ask, you know, and I wanted to come back to the issue of the strike anywhere, because of course, most matchbooks actually will say close before striking. So, I mean, it seems to me like perhaps there's a subtle undercurrent of fomenting labor unrest, and I'm not sure that's the type of symbol that we want to include as we think about the history of our town, particularly given the importance of labor and the challenges that the city has faced with the closing of the brewery, et cetera, et cetera.
Sounds like burn, baby, burn.
Todd's still a little bitter about losing the election too. Next time, I'm not running again. But good vocabulary, Todd. Lovely. Yeah, Representative.
Certainly. Representative Cooper. I think the strike anywhere, as far as the core movement went, just going back on research that I've done, it meant more so that the racism can strike anywhere. That it is up to us, all of us, to be aware at all times and to be able to strike against racism when it does strike anywhere. So I think that's more of the double entendre message of the core matchbook.
Thank you, Representative. On that note, I do have to get us moving now.